But I ain't gonna lie, bro, JJ Redick, the disrespect has to stop. You disrespecting Larry Bird, you must have really lost your damn mind. Like, this is coming from somebody who wasn't even allowed to see him play. You done really lost your damn mind. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, my little sportsman, and we back again with another reaction video, man. And today, we got Larry Bird back in the office, a.k.a. the man in green, a.k.a. MJ's kryptonite, you feel me? The man with the plan. We got Larry Bird back in this thing, man. And today, we got somebody being a little disrespectful. Somebody not putting respect on his name, I heard. You know what I'm saying? Word early bird on the worm, word on the street. It say ESPN Analyst. Oops. I promise you I graduated. I went to college and all. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? I stumble sometimes. I'm messing with y'all. But ESPN Analyst gets destroyed for disrespecting Larry Bird. I need to see who been putting that disrespect on that man's name. Real talk. Because as y'all can see from my reaction videos, if you haven't checked them out of Larry Bird, go ahead. Click that channel, you know what I'm saying? You go ahead and go check out the videos. But anyway, as from what I've seen, I wish somebody would say something crazy about it. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hold y'all no further ado. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. If you love sports, this is the place for you. I promise you're gonna love it over here, man. Y'all been loving these Larry Bird videos, so I'm gonna keep popping them out. You feel me? Hit that like button. Mike Tyson, that damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Bob and Weave, hit it a couple times. You feel me? It's free 99. You feel me? But let's get right into this video, man. Yes, sir.
Larry Bird is highly regarded as one of the 10 best players in NBA history. He was highly skilled, a great scorer, as well as a great passer. And when it came to his Celtics teams, he was highly valuable to their overall success. Now, with that being said, Larry Bird, like most older legends, is losing respect as time goes on. And when it comes to ESPN, I was absolutely floored to see a former NBA player insulting Larry Bird and saying point blank he is not one of the greatest shooters in NBA history.
And I think the NBA has gotten way past the balance and watching guys give up dunks to shoot three.
Here we go again already. Y'all already know how I feel about these. Well, y'all probably don't, but all this is the ESPN, I think they call whatever sports take, ESPN take, whatever the hell they call. With Stephen A and all these people he be having on there, they be funny sometimes. I ain't even gonna cap you down. They do be having me rolling sometimes, and I be locking in on them. But bro, it's like a lot of barbershop talk, bro. And a lot of stuff that they be saying be really blowing my mind on some people's opinions on some of these players. And the disrespect be crazy. You feel me? And we sure about to see what they done said.
On fast breaks, that kind of thing. I think that has hurt the game a lot. Now, that's me. I am old school, as we all know. JJ, perfect. But, you know, Bird shot plenty of threes. And they had Parrish and McHale. Bird shot plenty of threes, the best. And Bird is one of the great shooters in the history of the sport. Not even close.
Bird shot threes. He never was a volume shooter from three.
No, I know that, but he was a great three-point shooter. He was not good. He was great.
So, stopping that clip right there, Redick, at the very end, had the facial expression of someone who was annoyed and disgusted by Larry Legend being called one of the best shooters of all time. And for someone like Redick, it might be hard to understand that players in the past were also great players. But for him, he is so preoccupied with boosting up today's players, he downplays and disrespects past eras, like Bird, Cousy, as well as Jerry West. Now, getting on to the actual argument, Larry Bird, in his era, there was a three-point line that was introduced his first year. But for middle school, high school, even college, he had no three-point line. That is some very important context a lot of fans either don't know or try to ignore. And one more thing I do want to add, when Bird came into the NBA, he was actually a power forward who played primarily on the block. And despite that, in his first year in the NBA, he shot 40.6% from behind the arc. In terms of percentage, he ranked...
Bro, my bad if y'all hear this damn neighbor dog just repeatedly barking, bro. He finna get on my nerves. Interrupting my video. Everything was perfectly quiet and perfectly fine before I decided I want to record a video. Now all of a damn sudden, the dog wanna get to barking. I know y'all hear him. My fault, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to get these videos out for y'all, man. So if y'all could just do me a favor and tune them out like I gotta do, we all be good, you feel me? I apologize for that ahead of time, man, if it really bothers you.
Third in the NBA, he was 5th in total threes and 6th in threes attempted. As a rookie off the bat, Larry Bird was the best three-point shooter in 1980. And what makes it even more impressive, out of the qualifiers for three-point shooting, he was the only power forward to make the list, once again proving how much of a unicorn he really was.
He's one of the top 5 three-point shooters of all time. That's how good Bird is. Oh, yes.
We're
won
not-
three-point shooting contests. He was phenomenal. Bird's
wait a
a
minute.
great shooter.
Wait
and
a minute,
and Bird
Doggy.
didn't shoot
Bird is
50
absolutely one of the
Doggy.
greatest shooters ever, but he's not
Okay,
one of the top 5
Oh,
three-point,
yes,
top
he is.
3, whatever
Did you
just said.
see the three-point shooting that he put on, those clinics that he put on at the All-Star game?
Again,
did you watch?
Doggy, it's just math. It's attempts, it's makes, and it's percentage. And there's no way you could ever argue Larry Bird is a top 3 three-point shooter of all time. You can't make that argument.
You're basing it
he's
on
one
math.
of the He's
You're
one of the best
basing it
shooters
on
ever.
math and a time of when he played. I'm basing it on just shooting.
Now, looking at JJ in this clip, he once again provides no context, saying, quote, "It's about makes, attempts, and percentage." Looking at the raw numbers with no context, no data, and no additional information. That argument right there, going on stats alone, is highly disingenuous. For example, look at the mid and early 2000s. Back in that era, averaging 30 points was extremely difficult for people like Kobe, Allen Iverson, and even T-Mac. Being knowledgeable NBA fans, we know that era had a much slower pace, the paint was more crowded, and scoring was definitely more difficult. When looking at the raw stats with no context, players in today's league averaging 30 were more efficient compared to Kobe, as well as Iverson. And like Reddick said, it's makes, attempts, and percentage. Someone like SGA, off the pure raw stats, was a better scorer than peak Iverson. And someone like Tatum, technically, was more impressive than the early 2000s Kobe. My overall point being, stats like usual require context. The same thing goes to Larry Bird and his shooting percentage. And speaking of that percentage, looking at Bird, after 1984, when he stopped playing power forward, his overall shooting splits were highly impressive, shooting 50% from the field, 39.8% from 3, and 90% from the line. During that time period, 5 different times he shot above 40% from 3, and his
Like, I ain't gonna lie, that, excuse me, but I ain't gonna lie, just off them stats right here that he's showing, bro, who in the league is averaging 40% from the 3? Who averaging 40% from the 3, bro? Maybe a couple people. He did this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different seasons. Every time I seen Larry Bird shooting in his damn videos I've been watching him, they damn near barely touched the rim. Even when people in his face. He's shooting fadeaways, threes, mid-ranges. Like, come on, bro. In my opinion, he is definitely, at the least, a top 5 shooter of all time, Larry Bird. Guaranteed. And I'm not even born in, you know what I'm saying, in the past era. I wasn't even able to be allowed to see him. And all I've seen is just glimpses, you know what I'm saying, from the videos that I've watched. It didn't even take me that long to tell that he is one of them ones. So what in the world, what in the tarnation is JJ Redick talking about? I agree with bro. Yes, he is, bro. He is, bro. Like, we gotta, like, yes, different people live in different eras. Yes, we're gonna favor towards our era that we were in more than other eras. Yes, of course, that's just natural. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you got to give respect. Respect is due, my boy. Point blank, period. At the end of the day, straight up.
highest season was at 42.7%. And going year by year, in 85, he was 4th in three-point makes, 86, he was 1st, 87, also 1st, and 88, he was 4th. For peak Larry Bird, from 85 to 88, he was 1st in threes made, 1st in threes attempted, and 4th in three-point percentage. For his overall era, in terms of volume and percentage, he was the Steph Curry of the late 1980s.
Listen to what he's
Bird
saying.
is a unbelievable.
Again, we had this discussion the other day. About James Naismith. James Naismith invented the game. You were rewarded for putting the ball in the basket. There's plenty of people that have shot more, made more, and guess what? Made more at a higher percentage than Larry Bird from three. I'm not saying Larry Bird is not one of the greatest shooters ever. He's not one of the greatest three-point shooters ever.
Yes,
you cannot make that argument.
Yes, I'm sorry. Because the 80s is so much different. There's physicality, the way they guarded people. You couldn't. Can we get
Doug, I've been trying to make a point.
Seriously,
I've been trying to make a point for you, Doug.
So once again, Reddick has zero historical context and wants to make basketball black and white and about percentage and stats. And looking at Larry Bird, like I said before, he was one of the pioneers for the high-volume three-point shooters from day one in the NBA. And for a big man, he was especially unique in his time because most forwards didn't dare step out to shoot threes. And Bird's overall influence, much like Steph Curry, had a big effect on the game going forward for guys like Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Durant, and even Jason Tatum. And one thing I do want to nail home, in 1980, three-point shooting was a gimmick and a joke for most coaches. But for Larry Bird, in a 5-year period, he legitimized it, was shooting upwards of 40%, really not knowing what he was doing for his time. And like I said before, Keith Larry Bird was an elite and all-time great three-point shooter. As from 85 to 88, he shot 41.4% from behind the arc, when the league average was 29.5%. Once again showing Bird was light years ahead of the curve and is a unicorn for his time period given his size, volume, as well as percentage. And one more thing I do want to reiterate is stats with zero context. As any average Joe off the street can look at a box score, look at a percentage, and read it and tell if it's good or bad. But a real smart NBA fan, what they do, they look at the context, the peak, and the overall era. As looking at raw stats as a simpleton, someone like Kobe and his career stats aren't as impressive as Damian Lillard when it comes to scoring. As Dame compared to Kobe, averages more points, a higher true shooting percentage, higher three percentage, and higher free throw percentage. Would anyone in their right mind say Dame Lillard was a better overall scorer than Kobe?
Hell no.
Because looking at the numbers, remember, makes, attempts, and percentage, Dame Lillard, in fact, was a better scorer. And once again, looking at Bird, at his absolute peak in the playoffs, he was phenomenal. As in 86, he averaged 25.9 points, 9.3 boards, 8.2 assists on 52, 41, and 93 splits. For NBA history, Larry Bird was the first player ever to have a high-volume 50, 40, 90 postseason run. And since Bird, only KD and Kawhi have joined him on that list.
Let's say Steph Curry, for example.
Right.
When I watch Steph Curry off the ball in a playoff game,
Oh, he's great.
getting grabbed and held by Marcus Smart, they're attached to him at all times.
Right.
Then when I watch Larry Bird come off a pin down and no one's within 5 feet of him and they're shooting the gap, you're telling me one is more physical than the other? You're telling me that's more physical than Steph Curry being grabbed and held for 48 minutes?
Now, stopping Reddick right there, when talking about any era of basketball, there are always good defensive teams and bad defensive teams. But for Reddick, when it comes to Bird's era, he only focuses in on the bad defense, compared to Steph's era, where he totally ignores the bad defense and the awful teams like Houston, Charlotte, and San Antonio. And as a basketball fan on YouTube, it takes about 5 minutes to find Larry Bird playing against very physical defense who grabs him, holds him, double teams him, and does all types of things to limit his shots and his shooting space. And when speaking of the 80s, when it came to Pistons, they had Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars. The Lakers had Cooper and Worthy. Philadelphia had Bobby Jones and Caldwell Jones. Players like Allen Robinson, Larry Nance, Sidney Moncrief, Buck Williams. You had great defenders on all-time great defensive teams. And just like Reddick, I could cherry pick bad plays here, bad plays there, from any era. At the end of the day, it makes no sense doing that. You have to watch the film, understand the era, and provide context to what you're watching. Yes, back in the day, they played very close and compact to the basket. That's because back then, they didn't know the value of three-point shooting. But someone like Bird was a pioneer and an innovator of three-point shots for big men and just players in general.
Thanks.
And one last thing I do want to throw in there, looking at
But I ain't gonna lie. Excuse me. But I ain't gonna lie. Bro, JJ Redick, the disrespect has to stop. You disrespecting Larry Bird, you must have really lost your damn mind. Like, this is coming from somebody who wasn't even alive to see him play. You done really lost your damn mind. That man was insane. He was guaranteed. This man went to a damn three-point contest, didn't even take off his damn warm-up gear, and won. He didn't even take off his warm-up gear, and won. Three-peated it at that. The three-point contest. Who the hell done three-peated a three-point contest? Plenty of great shooters have been in the three-point contest more than 3 times, JJ Redick. Who has three-peated it? Come on, man. You got to give that man his flowers, bro. The Larry Bird disrespect must be stopped. Has to be stopped, bro. It has to be. That's disrespectful to not call this man a top 5 greatest shooter of all time. To me, that's borderline insane. Come on, JJ. You tripping, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you, tripping on this one. Straight up.
Bird, Mad Dog Russo brought up the NBA Finals. For Bird in the finals, for his career, in 5 trips collectively, he shot 42.2% from behind the arc. And when it came to clutch time play, in the final 5 minutes, shot a staggering 42.8%.
His percentage went
up. If you look at three-point shooting for Larry Bird, at the biggest times when the stakes were highest, he elevated his game and rose to the occasion. And like Pat Riley said, Larry Legend is the guy you want taking the shot when the clock's winding down. So that right there is my last overall point. And when it comes to Bird, I personally think he's a top 10 shooter of all time.
Yes.
If you want to say top 5, I definitely wouldn't push back too heavily given his era and how good he was for his time period. And for Redick, as you guys know, I am not a big fan of him or his takes regarding past legends. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
Man, yeah, man. Shout out to Uncle Hoops, man. But yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, he being nice. Top 10, man. That's damn near guaranteed, bro. Like, not even damn near. That's overly guaranteed. I'm pushing top 5. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. His three-point percentage went up in the clutch. Postseason. When the game is down to the wire, get the ball to Larry Bird, and you want him to shoot. Most people, you want them to drive in and try to get fouled. Not with Larry. You want him to shoot that damn thing. Shoot the skin off that damn ball. That's what you want him to do. Come on, man. Like, this damn nigga made me mad, bro, because I done really became, like, bro, y'all done really made me become a Larry Bird fan, like for real. Like, for real, bro. Like, come on, man. Disrespect has to stop, man. But, you know what I'm saying? I got more videos to do for y'all, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right there, you know what I'm saying? If you love sports, this is the place for you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. Hit that like button if you made it to the end of the video, because that means you obviously enjoyed it. So at least you can do is give me a like, you feel me? But yeah, man, ooh, I almost forgot my damn name. Oh my goodness. It's Damo Love Sports, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace.